Endless multiverse, endless multiverse, endless multiverse, episode 19. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Endless Multiverse, episode 19, with your host, Chainsaw Reacts and Andy. We have a lot of things to talk about today. We really do. Let's not waste too much time. Let's just take this image off here. Hello, Andy. Welcome back
Hello.
to Video World.
Yeah, my health went up, but I lost an arm. I got my fourth COVID shot on Monday, so the reason my arm is lying like this a lot tonight is because I'm like resting it because I'm just I've been very tired this whole week, but my arm has just imagine writing articles with just one hand that works and then one that is kind of like ow, 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 ow.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
Oh no, I have to move my hand to hit another letter on the keyboard. Ow, ow,
Ow,
ow.
ow, ow. It's been kind of a crazy week in terms of news because last week, of course, we had a lot to talk about, and this week we do have stuff to talk about, but it seemed like things were happening kind of last minute in terms of news. Because for the first bit, we only had 3 potential topics by Wednesday, which is when we put up the StreamYard and everything. But yeah, so I think we should just dive in because we definitely have some things to talk about. So
We have some breaking news to start with.
yeah, we do have breaking news. Constantine, hit it, sir.
All right then. On with the show.
On with the show. So first things first, this just broke. Okay, this is pretty crazy.
I had no idea either about it. I just found about it myself.
It just happened. I'll take out the ticker real fast so we can see these dates. So I made this image just right away, like right before the show. We have 3 Avatar movies coming from Avatar World, Avatar Studios. 2024, we're getting a Kyoshi movie. 2025, a Zuko movie. And 2026, Korra. I think this is very interesting for a number of reasons. I think that Kyoshi is a smart choice. I think it was actually rumored for a bit that she was going to be getting a film. Zuko was also rumored. I didn't hear anything about Korra getting a movie. That was kind of a surprise to me since we've already had a full show dedicated to her. Of course, Zuko was a part of the original Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the fact that he's getting his own movie is interesting as well. I don't know if there's any details as of yet about the actual storylines. My guess is there's no details on the storylines we're going to be covering, but my guess with Korra is that it's after the events of season 4, the continuation of what happens after that season. Kyoshi, I'm guessing, probably chronicles her life, I'm guessing. And with Zuko, I'm assuming it's going to be covering the events after Avatar: The Last Airbender ends. Are you familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender? Have you seen the series, or let me guess, you haven't?
I actually during the 2013 or it must have been 2013 2014 Comic-Con, because I was lining up for them. I was lining up all night for the Ada's Shield panel at San Diego Comic-Con. But before the Shield panel happened, there was all the other panels in between, and one of them was the little Korra panel, and they showed the first episode. So like me not having any shit what was going on with anything, I had to just tune in and be like, okay, interesting. And then we got through the episode and was like, wow, the animation style is very, very beautiful and so on. And then they had a panel, whatever, and so on. The fans were a little intense, because like they, I know, because I sat in the middle section of the room, in the second row, and I accidentally said something. I accidentally said, oh, is it like like anime? And like this tilted guy turned around and said, no, it's not fucking anime. And we say, okay, calm down. Like I didn't know. So
A little ridiculous.
but yeah, but like
Yeah.
but I've heard I've had previous hosts of the Flash podcast always like try to pitch me to watch these shows, and I say, yeah, I will try. I'm just busy. I will probably check out the live action show on Netflix when it comes out. But it's but yeah, this is an ambitious move to make them. Are they theatrical?
Yes, they are going to be theatrical. I'll pull it up again. The overlay covers up some of the dates, but Kyoshi 2024, 2025, Zuko 2026, Korra. Yes, they are theatrical. It's interesting because the creators of Avatar and Korra, this universe, were originally attached to the Netflix live action series and left due to creative differences. And now Paramount, along with Nickelodeon, brought them back and basically created a whole studio dedicated to the Avatar world, which makes sense because now with them going into streaming and doing these movies, and they're supposed to be doing other series as well. It pretty much shows with this announcement of these 3 movies, 1 per year, it pretty much shows that they are fully committed to telling more stories in this world, and they're not holding back. Because my guess is within the next year or so, maybe even sooner, we'll be hearing about a new show coming, probably going to Paramount Plus exclusively. That's my guess, because they've already started doing that with their other properties in terms of Nickelodeon. Like there's a SpongeBob centric spinoff show that's only for Paramount Plus. So in terms of Avatar, how popular it is, they're probably going to announce a series. But this is exciting news. But I wanted to briefly talk about it. So let's move over to another franchise that has a lot of fans. We're talking Obi-Wan Kenobi, episode 5. So comparatively to episode 4, episode 5 had a lot going on, where in episode 4, stuff happened, but there was a lot of divisiveness. Episode 5 had many things. We're talking spoilers here, people. We had Vader basically owning Reva like she was nothing, using the Force in that fight for a good portion of it, using one of her sabers against her, and also showing Vader pull down a ship. It was a decoy, but still pulling down a ship. And we got to see throughout the episode a flashback sequence between Anakin and Obi-Wan during the events, I believe, Attack of the Clones, based on the fact that he's a Padawan and the fact that he had the mullet going on. What did you think overall about the episode, and what were some of the things that stood out to you for episode 5 of Obi-Wan Kenobi, sir?
The wig, the mullet wig. I was like,
that stood out to you in a good or bad way.
It gave me CW vibes. And that's the myth of the CW wigs. One day, I feel like that needs to be like a special on its own to just talk about like what the hell, why they are the way they are. No, again, I mean, I enjoyed this episode overall. I feel like that, the story is moving forward really, really well. I did like the flashback because I haven't revisited that era of the Star Wars franchise since like 2012 when I was forced to watch the prequels for the first time, and I was like, what if Jar Jar just shows up somewhere? What if Jar Jar is somewhere here?
They, in the middle of the fight, they just got the Jar Jar on the side eating popcorn, watching their duel.
Yeah, with like a disgusting tongue,
Yeah.
I can't. My tongue is not that long, so I can't, visualize that. But no, but it was still like nice to see kind of like the flashback, from that perspective. Although you could tell that because usually, I know they always try to like de-age them a little bit when they do these kind of things. I could tell that they did not hear because like Hayden looked. I mean, and it's not to age him anyway because it's aging is part of life. But it was hard for me to believe that this was taking place in the prequel trilogy, because so what is the time frame? Okay, so what is the time frame between episode 3, as in like the movie episode 3, and then season 1 of Obi-Wan?
10 years.
10 years. Wow. Okay.
Ewan looked, because the beard kind of hid a lot of it, but with Hayden, like the day the episode aired, there was already people de-aging him on YouTube because they didn't do any de-aging in the episode. And in the moment, I didn't notice it because I was just like overwhelmed, like, holy crap, we're actually seeing a flashback here. We're actually seeing Anakin, right? But then when I go back and rewatch that sequence, when you pay attention and look clearly, yeah, that's a 40-year-old plus man.
Yeah, but again, again, aging is part of like, we're not shaming anything like that, but it was just kind of like, we know that Disney does this all the time where they de-age people. So I'm just like, why couldn't we have done it here?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because they literally have the ability to do it. Because we saw what they did. They recreated young Luke Skywalker, as we had discussed on the Book of Boba Fett. They had literally done that deepfake technology to recreate young Luke. So why could they not? And they don't have to deepfake. They just have to just polish up the face a little bit, make him look a little bit younger. I mean, they literally could deep fake a little bit, like put a younger version of over his face. Then I guess their thinking was that it wouldn't be his genuine performance if they deep faked it to put a younger version of his face over his face. I don't know, because usually when you
isn't that what they did with Luke Skywalker with Mark Hamill?
Well, what they did is that they used a stunt, like a secondary actor, and put a new face over his face. And they had, like, Mark Hamill was on set, but like it wasn't like whenever you see his actual close-up face, it's another actor, and they replaced his face with Luke. But for this, with Hayden, like replacing his face with a younger version of his face, I don't think that, like, it just feels kind of strange. But they could have done a little bit of polishing. But I mean, literally, good point here. Surprised they didn't do what they did with Alfred Molina in No Way Home. Literally, yeah, they had to de-age him in No Way Home.
They're the same, studio that owns both these franchises or whatever. So, but what I will say is I enjoy the flashback. But of course, the big takeaway of this episode is Reva. Like, I was like, Reva. Obi who? Who Kenobi? I was like, obsessed with what we discovered about Reva this week.
I mean, they confirmed the long-standing rumor that she did indeed. It wasn't like she witnessed him from afar. He was right there in her face, killing younglings. I thought it was interesting how they put that little graphic in the beginning saying that this is fictional, clearly. And I'm like, the last time they put like a little thing in front of an episode was the first episode when it opened with younglings being attacked by clone troopers. So when they put that in front of episode 5, I'm like, what are they going to do here? And they literally show Anakin mowing down and slamming kids with lightsabers. I'm like, Jesus. All right.
Where was the disclaimer?
Well, it was in front of my episode. I don't know if they took it down or something when people I don't know, because when I watched it at 4:30 in the morning, they had a disclaimer at the beginning, briefly talking about the fact that these are fiction. This is a fictional show and all that.
Was it right after like the Obi-Wan Kenobi logo?
I can't remember. It might have been. I don't remember though.
Because I'm always one of those people who always skips the.
Oh, gotcha. I mean, everything. I think it popped up right as I clicked it and I loaded it up. I think it was the first thing that popped up, but I can't remember because I was dead on my feet regardless. And then I was woken up when I saw Hayden as Anakin. I'm like, oh. Yeah,
because I just pulled it up. The first thing that shows up is a Disney Plus logo, and then previously on Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
But it was a good episode. Reba, next week is the finale, obviously. So I wonder like how she's gonna make it out, and how I figured this isn't the last we've seen of her. After the show, and now with season 2 possibly happening, I'm hoping she's back, or if she goes on to like. I don't know what comes out. I don't know what's
a rumor Reba show, which I don't know what that would be.
Wait, is it a rumor? Or is it just people theorizing? Because I theorize
it's a rumor that's been around for a couple weeks.
Okay.
But I would think if they were to do a Reva show, I think it should take place after this. And if they're really going in that direction of her, because you could tell she was conflicted about being as an Inquisitor, I think they may be setting up to where she's going to try to redeem herself. Or try to work for, because they made a point to highlight significantly the walls of where the Jedi, sign, and the Jedi, like their little safe, like, remember that, like the tunneling system they talked about where the Jedi were, they made a point in this episode this week to show that again at that base, to show the insignia of the Jedi and showing all these different Jedi who've been through there. It kind of just signifies to me that they definitely have plans. I wouldn't be surprised if Obi-Wan episode, Obi-Wan season 2 is maybe focused on dealing with some of these other Jedi that are still on the run.
Yeah, maybe. Because there has to be a couple more before we get to the events of episode 4, because we know that Jedis are like it's a rarity. I just looked up who broke this rumor. That website is garbage. They don't know anything. So I'm just until.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Lucasfilm is discussing it, because I mean, following an Inquisitor in a show would be interesting.
And would that be the first time?
Yes, in terms of a focused show, yes, be the first time an Inquisitor.
Have any of the comics ever followed an Inquisitor as like the lead?
I don't know. I know that they've covered Vader solo stuff, Han Solo solo stuff. I don't know about an Inquisitor specifically. My
The
guess is
novels, maybe.
maybe there's definitely a lot of canon novels now, because before the canonization of the stories after a certain point from Disney, where everything else previous to that, besides the movies and everything, were decanonized legends. Inquisitors were not a thing, as from what I can tell. Like, there might have been other Sith lords, but Inquisitors is a new thing where they're not Sith, but they work for the Sith. It's kind of weird because you know the whole dynamic of the Sith where it's always two, like the rule of two. Like, they've gotten down to the point now it's two, master and apprentice. Inquisitors are not going to get that. Like, they basically established Inquisitors can never rise above to that point where they could become a master apprentice, because like it's technically there's more Sith, but they're their own subcategory that hunt Jedi. So I don't know.
I actually I know that it was called Legends. You want to know how? So when the first book was coming out, it came out at Comic-Con, and one of my good friends was like, "Hey Andy, I know you're probably super busy, whatever, but like, could you do me a favor? I will do anything for you. What do you need?" He's like, "There's this Star Wars book coming out. Like, it's the first of this new." And he had to explain the same way, like, like there's, the EU era and the Legends era. And I'm like, and I stood in line and I got my brother, a damn autograph as well. So, but, of course I took a little peek as well. Just be like, like, what's this about? I don't remember anything in that book, but I was kind of like,
You remember what it was called?
It was literally the first book, whatever the first Legends book was.
I don't know.
Like the absolute first one, and this must have been like 2013 or something, because it was kind of like right after the acquisition. So, but yeah, like I remember I stood in line, and I had to I was listening to some people like talking about it, like like there was of course some fan was like furious, but I was like, I don't get why you're furious. You're getting more Star Wars, and some were like, like, oh my, I know, I wonder what it's gonna do, whatever, so on to the to the timeline.
Well, it's so interesting because there's people that want to canonize the legend stuff. There's one storyline where Chewbacca dies when a moon slams into him.
I heard about that. About this is this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
And from what I can remember, with them telling stories about the Trinity, Luke, Han, and Leia, that their books go in different directions in terms of the stories. Like, they weren't all connected. So like canonizing, like, you would have to be very specific on what books, and that's just too confusing. Because if you're like, okay, well, this trilogy of books from this author wrote, like, this occurred, but then this other author over here who wrote a standalone Han Solo book completely contradicts what they're saying over here. Like, it would just be too confusing. So, but yeah, we have another Disney Plus show.
Another Disney Plus show.
And what happened on this week with this one?
On Miss Marvel episode 2, and we pick up right after where we left off, after Kamala discovers that the bracelet in episode 2 called Crushed. And this episode is kind of like, of course, the kind of classic exploring your powers episode where like she and Bruno are having fun testing her abilities and so on. And but of course we also see a lot of, and we see a lot of Muslim culture in this episode, and how it all coincides in the end where Kamala has to do her latest save, but it doesn't go as well as she'd hoped, and now she's on the run with Cameron. So what did you think about just because we watch so many of these shows, and like again this, especially with the younger superhero shows, which I'm sure both of us were kind of like, well, wonderful, we're aging.
Yes, I feel old.
I felt very old throughout this whole episode, but what did you think? What did you think about how they were testing their powers this week?
I thought it was interesting. I thought overall the episode kind of stacked up, I think, with like episode 1 in terms of learning more about her, learning more about these characters. That's her family, her friends, and of course this new guy. His name's Cameron. Is that his name?
Cameron, yeah.
This new guy showing up, and then kind of, I don't know what that ending implies in terms of getting in the car, but her being, of course, tracked down, and they're trying to turn the girl that she had saved, and saying, well, I mean, did she actually try to hurt you instead of save you? Like, they're trying to spin it. And that's the same guy from Spider-Man No Way Home that interrogated her. Like, so they're tying that in, which is interesting. And I thought it was interesting because, I think the montage of her learning how to use the platforming, essentially, I think that was interesting because they could have made it to where she masters it and she just knows how to do it. But then they're throwing in this whole thing to where it's still a work in progress. And then we start bringing up her grandmother, who essentially is lost. I don't think she's lost. It's clear as day that the grandmother is somehow attached to these gauntlets that she's wearing. Which I think is interesting. Also, too, there was a line they threw in from her friend here, who we see in this image here. He throws in a line, huh?
Bruno.
Yeah, don't talk about Bruno. It's a Canto. Is that in Canto? Is that movie? Anyways,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's so they make a point to say that she already has her powers, but this woke them up, the gauntlets. And so people pointed that out and said, is this implying that she actually is an Inhuman? That these gauntlets,
I think.
Yeah, I think so she might actually be an actual Inhuman, but they weren't awoken her abilities until she turned on these gauntlets. Doesn't mean that when she takes them off that she won't have abilities, but I think that this triggered something in her. I'm curious to see what Cameron's mom, like, what, because clearly Cameron is not who she thinks he is. Clearly, because he knew exactly where she was. He brought his mom, so I need to know what's going on. But overall, and
I think this would be a kind of a cool way to kind of incorporate Inhumans of it all. So I think there is. I don't know if we're gonna get the classic like Terrigen Mist bomb that happens in the comic where all of New Jersey gets hit by this Terrigen Mist bomb. But I do think she's gonna get exposed to the mist in a different way. And I feel like this would because I think that again, say what you will about the Inhumans TV show, like I still think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did a really good job establishing the Inhumans like lore, and I feel like it's such a waste to just remove that just because two executives are fighting about who's having the biggest dick, basically. I don't think we need that, and I feel like that this could be a way, like we don't need to talk about the Inhumans TV show, but we can still utilize the myth somehow, because we know they're out there. We know that that as much as we hate that show, Black Bolt and Medusa and everyone is on Earth technically, and and then they could probably find ways to reinvent them, but and I think also it would be cool to eventually then see kind of like the X-Men and the Inhumans at the same time, kind of like see the dynamic there, and so and this and I think that the gauntlet is I always believe that it's kind of like almost injecting her a little bit by bit, a little bit of the mist inside of her to eventually like fully awaken. But I think it's probably going to be one of those stories where like it's like an emotional awakening once that will get her access to even more powers perhaps. And I'm excited to see where they go with her. I like because Cameron's mom, because we had seen her in the trailer where she's kind of like, do you know what you truly are, kind of like that typical like do you know what you even are, like have you any idea what you are? I could do this forever. So I'm interested to see like what if maybe she is an Inhuman and she's kind of like she sees potential in Kamala, and kind of like like, why are you hiding yourself? You should embrace yourself. And I'm very curious what they're doing with damage control now in the MCU, like because this is not what I expected. Because I know a little bit about the damage control in the comics, but I just, what is their deal? It's like if they're more like sword than damage control. If they're hunting down, and what was it? The word enhanced,
yeah, I think. I'm curious about that too, because we had heard for a while that they were going to be in the MCU at some point. But like as we know with Feige and them, they don't follow tradition. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, like they seem very hostile. I do like Cleary though. I do like Agent Cleary. He is kind of funny. He's like, oh yeah, we all talk about character in the office. You know,
Yeah.
like, we're a big fan of yours.
I kind of figured he was playing her because the way he was like, yeah, we talk about it all the time. That video, yeah, it's like, yeah, just waiting for
He's so slick too, like, you know, like, and then you were safe but the enhanced individual, weren't you? And I should have showed it being like, objection, lack of foundation. What are you talking about? We're not gonna talk about that trial, but I will say that throughout all those weeks, I've now started using all those terms because like that's all you keep hearing all the time, you know. So
objection
like,
hearsay.
sustained. Yeah, no, but again, like, again, I'm just because in the comics, you know, damage control is such a different thing. I feel like that I'm like, what are they trying to do here? So like, and also because did you know they were actually trying to do like a damage control sitcom years ago? Remember that?
I think I remember hearing that rumor. I think, and it would have reminded me of Powerless a little bit from DC. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up, but at the same time, I had to. Good, I mean, I because then again, for so many years we've heard rumors of stuff that's being developed. So,
oh, we have a super chat from
Yes.
Victor. Thank you so much. Hello, do you know if there will be maybe I think he's asking for a Reba show. Maybe it autocorrect that. If you're asking if this could be a Reba show, like, I mean, I hope so. I think that would be pretty cool.
well, I mean, he might have been asking, is Miss Marvel going to be a recurring show?
Oh,
Maybe.
even that. Well,
it's possible. I mean,
it's
after
having great reviews. There's the analytics are doing well from what I'm understanding. So I think there's, you know, and I think this would be a great show after, you know, like the season 2 could take place after the Marvels. Marvel Studio presents
that's
the
what
Marvel sequel, The Marvels.
That's what I was thinking. I think after the Marvels, I wouldn't be surprised if after the Marvels, like at the end of the Marvels movie, she gets hit with Terrigen Mist. After whatever storyline that they need her to be cosmic, and then after the storyline, her last scene is Terrigen Mist. Maybe it's an after credit sequence. Maybe.
I would prefer if it happened on her own show, though. I think that would be more special.
I mean, I think that could tie into a season 2, though. You know what I'm saying?
If it ties into season 2, I will be I will accept that because I at least want to see that. Like, I don't want to see it in, you know, I don't want to just, you know, I don't want to see that arc just be explored in other characters' movies. When I'm like, you know, well, like she could lead her own thing, right? So, you know, and like, and maybe I don't know, because, you know, this show also does remind me so much about, you know, about Stargirl a little bit. So, and, you know, we, given the CW being the CW, you know how long we have these shows anymore. Like, I would love to keep having Ms. Marvel in that case, you know, especially, and also because, I mean, this episode was very, you know, a lot of things were familiar for me here, you know, because again, I'm not a Muslim myself, but I grew up in a Muslim family, you know, so there were a lot of things here that were very familiar to me in that culture. And I will say Nakia's like campaigning and, like, you know, the way she talked to Kamal's dad, like, you don't want to. Don't you want this for women? Like, don't you want us to progress, to win and progress? He's like,
it was good. It was good.
He's like, oh shit. Yeah, good episode too. So we're excited to see where they go next week.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be halfway through next week, the show.
Yeah. Should we maybe let people know what's happening next week in terms of the show, just so that we don't forget?
Yes, we can address it now. We can address it when we get to Q&A and stuff. Just make sure people who didn't show up or weren't here at the moment. So next week I'm going to be off on Friday. Andy's going to be having a show that is happening on next Friday. I'm not sure of what he's doing. I guess
we will have a guest. He's
going to have a guest. I will not be here. Yeah.
And I want to just confirm one more time before we reveal it. But if it's all booked and scheduled, I think it's be a lot of fun for you guys. It's someone that he and I know really well, and I look forward to having on the show. And then on July 1st, there won't be a show because we both want to be back when we do episode 20 of our show, which will be on July 8th, if I'm doing the math correctly.
July, double check on the dates. Yes.
July 8th.
So next on the 24th, there is a show. It's going to be 19.5 in this multiverse. I will not be here. The ghost, my wife's mom, is getting into town that day, so I will not be available. And then on July 1st, me and my lovely wife are going to be on a little bit of a vacation starting the day before that Friday. So there'll be no show on the 1st of July, but there'll be a show with Andy and hopefully a special guest. There'll be something on the 24th.
They will be on the 24th.
And then,
but I will be also live. I will be live on the 30th of June, though, on the DC Podcast YouTube channel for the Flash season finale. So if even if you won't see me live on Friday, if you want to see me live anywhere, I will be over there on Thursday, June 30th. But then by the 8th we'll be back, and then we will do a show on the 15th, and then. Yeah, well, July is gonna be a little bit wonky because of so much that's happening, because Comic-Con is happening and I'm gonna be gone and so on. But we will, but by August everything will be back to normal because I don't think I'm doing any more trips for the year. Like pray for me that I don't catch this little thing.
that wouldn't be good.
Yeah, I'm like, especially because I got a fucking 4th vaccine at this point. I'm like, if I still get sick, and even like, because I'm gonna double mask. Like, listen, I'm gonna double mask like crazy, so they better not. I better not get.
They announced a Hall H panel today for the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's probably be our next show we review, right?
Potentially, I think so. I mean, I'm gonna be watching House of the Dragon. I know that much, but I'll be watching Lord of the Rings when it comes out. Don't know about reacting. We'll see. It might be too. I don't know what's happening at that point, but we finished at Miss Marvel. But we'll of course address this stuff later on in the show again to anybody who misses it. But yeah, so show next week. I will not be here. Then July 1st we are off. July 8th will be a episode 20 celebration. We're back to celebrate the show. So next up we have another Marvel thing that dropped, and I think this is very interesting. We're finally getting Wonder Man coming to the MCU. And the information here, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings director Destin Cretton is teaming up with Brooklyn Nine-Nine community writer Andrew Guest in developing a series based on Wonder Man. Guest will be the head writer while Creighton is an executive producer and may possibly direct an episode or more for the Disney Plus series. Interesting they're doing a series instead of a film, but I guess a series makes sense to establish the character more. For those who don't know, Wonder Man is also known as Simon Williams, was a founding member of the West Coast Avengers. Interesting, West Coast Avengers. So I think we might be seeing the West Coast Avengers pop up in the MCU, or at least the inkling is starting to happen. He started as a villain, but he's eventually turned to a hero. His daytime job as an actor and stuntman made him a celebrity after getting chemical and radiation treatment with ionic energy by Baron Zemo. So I think Zemo might be involved unless they're going to switch that. Simon gained superhuman abilities like speed, strength, stamina, durability, agility, and more. So that's interesting. So I think with this Wonder Man news, I think especially with the West Coast Avengers, I think that's something that there's been heavily rumored that we were going to start seeing West Coast Avengers pop up in terms of characters and that actual team. I think this is probably the start of them starting to go into that route because we're building to Secret Wars. It seems we're building to Secret Wars, but that's going to take a long time to get to. And I feel like right now they're probably thinking, what is stuff we can set up for Secret Wars, but also set up some smaller scaled stuff, because like to outdo Thanos, you have to do a lot more build up because that took years to get to the whole Infinity War Endgame arc. So I think with this, for Wonder Man specifically, about a character that people have been wondering about for a while, and with the TV show, I think is the right decision. What do you think about this news?
I am not familiar with Wonder Man as a character, but like when hearing the show was happening, looking up a little bit, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. He's an actor, kind of like a stunt person and so on. That's kind of fun things that can tie into Hollywood and so on. I'm sure they would find ways to kind of like. It almost reminded me a little bit of I didn't watch it fully, but I've heard there was a show called Entourage that was kind of like about like a little bit of like inside how Hollywood looks, and so it would be kind of fun if they took a little bit of inspiration from that. And if they're setting in West Coast Avengers, listen, that's a perfect reason and excuse to then bring back Adrian Palicki's Mockingbird.
Exactly.
And I wouldn't mind if they put Hawkeye on the team. Fine, I get it if they can't be a ship because I guess he has a wife or whatever. But I don't have anything against it, but I have been bitter since Age of Ultron. Then I'm like, really, this is what we're doing.
And now she's Mockingbird, or she was a Mockingbird.
I think she was. I think what they've done in this universe, I think they've separated the eight because in the comics, Bobby is known as Agent 33, but also Mockingbird. I think they separated those titles. That Hawkeye's whatever wife is she is Agent 33 and Bobby is Mockingbird. Unless maybe she did pass on that title to.
I think it's
Bobby.
a mantle thing. I think it's because the reason why I think that that's what they did. Think about how they ended Hawkeye. So in the comics, Kate Bishop is, of course, Kate Bishop, but she's also known as Hawkeye. And at the end, when they're talking about potential names for Kate, when they said, "Oh, I have an idea," and then it cuts to the Hawkeye logo, implying that Kate is gonna take on the moniker of Hawkeye. I think they might establish that Mockingbird is the same kind of thing. That Bobby is now the Mockingbird. She was Mockingbird at one point, but not anymore. I don't know.
But that would be also a different type of connection to Hawkeye in like not but in reverse. So instead of it being through Clint, it's through his wife instead. But yeah, as long as it doesn't like erase Bobby's like status Mockingbird, because Agent 33 she isn't a spy anymore. She is like just a mom, and I don't say just a mom in a bad way, but she's retired from Shield and everything. So I just, as long as it doesn't like erase anything, then I'm good to go. We have a super chat from Victor again. Who do you feel could play Wonder Man?
It's a good question. I don't know. I'm bad with fan casting for a lot of the things. So I would say whoever it is, they got to be prepared to be in the MCU for a while. That's all. So whoever it is, because some characters in the MCU are one and dones in terms of their appearances, or they have a couple appearances. I think Wonder Man's going to play a significant role because Triple X here, right above the super chat. Thank you, Victor. Little known fact, Wonder Man was also in a little team called Thunderbolts that we just talked about last week. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised is if he's in Thunderbolts. We get introduced to him in Thunderbolts, and then he spins off into his own show to Wonder Man. I would not be surprised.
Well, maybe Sean B can play him and he doesn't get killed off for once. So.
So interesting about Wonder Man, the writer. I'm thinking comedy. You might not be wrong. You might be.
If it's in LA, I could see definitely that being the thing.
Yeah. This is a good point too. I don't think it was a coincidence that Shang-Chi himself and Chloe Bennett, aka Quake, posted a photo together. They posted multiple photos together, within the last couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, Shang-Chi must have been very honored to get to be in front of the MCU's first Asian superhero.
Chloe made a point to post that too in her post.
Yeah, go. Yeah, no, I got. Listen, I am an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. stan. I love Quake. Daisy Johnson is a queen. Chloe Bennett is a queen.
I'm so glad that Chloe got out of Powerpuff Girls. Thank God.
And for all the motherfuckers who've been like, oh my God, Shang-Chi, the first MCU agent hero. I'm like, fuck you and fuck your mom, because it was Quake this whole time. And you know it. Your mom knows it. Your sister knows it. Your job knows it. And your broke ass car knows it. I love that song.
Your job knows it. Your broke ass car.
You and your mom and your sister and your job.
I got a question for you.
You there was a little pointing there.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Quake is going to make an appearance?
Yes,
in Shang-Chi 2. It's possible. Or
if we have
to pop up,
I think she will pop up in MCU. I rather not be in Shang-Chi, but if I, because then that means that I have to watch the movie. But if she does show up, I will happily watch it for Chloe. But I'm. What's the name? What was the name of Nick Fury's show again?
Secret Invasion. The rumor is that she's in.
Yeah, because when she left Powerpuffs, the reason was because of, I can't even lift my other arm. It's not. By the way, it's not that I've lost mobility.
I'll help you. Ready?
Scheduling conflicts,
which in turn is two things, people. Number one, she wanted to get the fuck out of that Powerpuff Girls thing, and number two, she had a way better offer for something else that actually is going to get her some people's attention. And let's be honest,
and also better paid.
Oh yeah, definitely better paid. But also think about the fact that
Miss Jennifer. Oh my God.
Sorry.
Boy, don't you judge it. Hey guys, sorry I'm late and sorry to miss this week's episode. It's fine.
Fine. We missed you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
But to the point, I think she's going to be popping up soon. It could be Secret Invasion. It could be something else. You don't like, because Quick is a very important character to like Marvel in terms of her role, and also too, we're talking about her being on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Kevin Feige brought over Daredevil, Kingpin. There's rumors of bringing that Jessica Jones is going to pop up, Luke Cage, bringing those same actors.
Black Anson Mount as a different version of Black Bolt.
They had Anson Mount, and like they brought from the worst show ever in Marvel's history. They brought him into the mix. So to say that Chloe Bennett's Quake is not going to pop up is ridiculous. Ooh, Nathan Fillion as Wonder Man.
Well, there's a good time there because he's right now starring on The Rookie, an ABC show, and who owns ABC?
Disney.
So I think that could work, and it also be kind of cool, kind of follow kind of like an old school hero, kind of like this like Hollywood legend almost. And Jennifer, thank you so much for your super chat. And how many topics did I miss? And guys, I know I've been very bad in getting the chapter markers done for these past couple episodes, so I'm gonna catch up. But what you missed, Jennifer, our Jordan's reaction to them Avatar triple movies that are coming, and our Obi-Wan episode 5 discussion, and Miss Marvel episode 2 discussion. So so that's all you missed.
And the Avatar is Avatar: The Last Airbender, not James Cameron movies.
Yeah. Even I like when he came on.
Because we already knew they were coming. But you're like, huh?
Yeah, I was like, wait, why are we talking about this?
It's surprise crap on me because I was talking to my wife, and I was about to mention to her about the fact that I was invited on to the vodka stream tonight later on if I could join, and I was going to tell her that, and I immediately saw the post because they made the images of Kyoshi, Zuko, and Korra movies. I'm like, I lost my train of thought. Like I lost my mind. Like what? Oh, here we go. Billy the Kid Lance. If I don't see Chloe Bennett again, see, I'll shake a stick at Kevin Feige. You do that, sir. You shake that fucking stick, Billy the Kid Lance.
I will happily help you. Is there someone you know? You got very, very excited.
Oh, I love Billy. Billy's a good boy. Billy's a very good boy. Do you think they'll bring back Finn Jones and John Bernthal? John Bernthal.
I would love to. I mean, I don't. Yeah, as long as it's to get another Punisher show, because I don't think Punisher needs his own show.
I have not been watching The Boys. I boycott The Boys. That's just me. Yes, but thank you all for the super chats. We really do appreciate them.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts for Wonder Man before we jump into a little Harley Quinn?
No, I'm excited to see what they do with it. If Baron Zemo can show up here as well, I think it'll be fun. I like that actor quite a lot. But ladies and gentlemen, let's do this once more with feeling. Ha 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 ha.
I didn't know
Bad
Joker had an Earth tattoo.
Yeah, well, that actually looks kind of cool now that I look at it. And so Joker 2 is moving forward as we talked about last week, and it looks like this will be, another fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, because Lady Gaga herself is in talks to join the Joker sequel as Harley Quinn. And if you couldn't tell from my, epic parody of Bad Romance, it's gonna be a musical. Huh? I'm like, listen, I am all here for, I'm all here for Lady, it's Queen Lady Gaga. I don't know if I need to hear Joker sing.
Okay.
Do you remember where you were when this happened? Because I don't even remember this week. So I'm almost imagining that Jordan was like in a grocery shop and like looked at his phone and was like, what the fuck? Like he's like, hey Target, can I borrow one of your beanies? Sure. What the fuck?
Throw a beanie down. I think I was editing something and I saw it pop up and I was like, huh? I first thought it was a joke. Like, oh, this ain't real. But then when I kept thinking about it, the fact that Lady Gaga's in talks for Harley Quinn, the musical thing makes sense. Lady Gaga has done some roles in the past, but to ask Lady Gaga to perform as Harley Quinn, I don't know how that's going to come across. But then when they said it's a musical, I'm like, that's why they're looking at her for Harley, because the singing aspect of it. There's been some theories about what this means, and people are thinking that this is the fact that Joker and Harley are both insane. To be nice about it, they're crazy.
Well, we can put it. They deal with mental health issues. So
yes, they in their heads they're singing, and we're seeing it visualized. But the movie's not all of a musical. Like parts of it are where they are in the moment, just dancing and singing, but like in real life, it's what you'd expect. But here's my thing: why? Like, are we going to see the birth of Harley in this movie? My guess is yes. I don't know. We got a couple.
You think we'll see it first as Harley Quinzel? Maybe the end of the movie will end with.
I don't think it's going to end with her turning to Harley. I feel like she's going to turn to Harley like in the middle of the movie. But I think we're going to start off with Joker in the asylum speaking to Harleen, and maybe that's where the singing starts, where he's trying to serenade her in his own twisted way. Maybe that's how it starts. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe like their interaction causes something that we're seeing the dream or the visualization of these songs, you know?
Well, I mean, listen, I will say I haven't seen a lot of Lady Gaga's recent films, but I'm definitely gonna go check them out as we get into the Joker 2.
Yeah.
But I will say because I'm still very annoyed by the fact that we're even getting a sequel, but this actually raised some interest in me because I'm like, not because of the musical aspect, but because of Lady Gaga of it all. But if anything, you could have just done a Lady Gaga Harley Quinn movie and done that as a musical. I don't know why we had to see Joker because it has nothing to do with because I think Joaquin Phoenix did such a phenomenal portrayal of Joker, and I think it was a powerful story. And not powerful because I'm not saying that I'm worshiping the Joker, but it was a very interesting and compelling take on this iconic character we've grown up with. But again, I'm just but this is what Warner Bros. Likes to do. They just they like to use they want to flex that Batman muscle because they don't believe in the other DC characters. Sadly, Walter Hamada proved me wrong. We have a couple of super chats. One from Jennifer. I really want to see a West Coast Avengers movie. As there's a Wonder Woman movie. I think she meant a TV show coming. It could be hinting. Or maybe setting up with a post-credit scene. Yeah, I mean, I think
West Coast Avengers, definitely they're setting that up. Definitely. But yeah, I mean, the series, I think it's going to probably take place after the movie because there are apparently next summer they're going to shoot Thunderbolts. My guess is Wonder Man is not going to start filming or come out till after that movie. I could be wrong.
Right, in early developments, I would say that they're probably gonna I think by the end of the year we will know who our Wonder Man is.
Yeah,
but I don't think they're I don't know if we're gonna get season 1 this year. Plus I think their slate is already packed as is. And we have an survey from Billy the Kid Lawrence, and we've heard Joker sing plenty of time. I'm all for it. Dark musicals are awesome. Sweeney Todd, Reaper the Generic Opera, etc. I have nothing against musicals. Again, I literally just quoted Buffy the musical. Once more with feeling.
Yeah.
So
his song, Joker's song in Arkham Knight is crazy. Like it's really good.
I haven't heard one in a while.
It's Mark Hamill. It's interesting for sure. Singing as Joker. So I mean,
oh my God, why did you? We could have had what if we had Mark Hamill in Joker 2 singing with them?
That'd be kind of interesting.
And that would be a way to justify why he can do his Joker voice. He wouldn't have to be the Joker, but in Harley's mind or in Joker's mind, that's what they would probably see. But
you could do a parody of Poker Face, Joker Face. Let's see. This movie that doesn't need a sequel to me. The movie told its story and it's wrapped up beautifully. He's still thinking on the Joker.
I'm trying to poker. Yeah, I'm trying to write some lyrics in my head.
Oh, okay.
Poker. I haven't listened to Poker Face in quite some time, so it's I was more focused on the bad romance of it all.
Well, and I
Um,
think with Triple X, the point about it told its story and it wrapped it up. That's my thing too. I think why they're probably doing this as a musical is because it's not a traditional sequel. Because if it was a traditional sequel, maybe because Joaquin has never done a sequel to any of projects he's ever worked on. So if he would have signed on to Doctor Strange, that'd have been his first time ever continuing playing the same character after one appearance. But he's never done it, and the fact that he's doing this movie tells me one or two things. One, he really loves the script. Or two, he's getting paid a lot of money. But I don't know. He doesn't seem like money is his main factor because he's been offered a lot of stuff that he doesn't do. So I don't know, because I think Joaquin Phoenix could work a lot more for sure, but he chooses not to. He chooses to be very selective of his work.
I wanna hold on like they do in Gotham City. Punch him like and hit me, raise it, bad, stay with me. I love it. Crowbar game into infusion, play the bad rangs.
Crowbar. Is that Jason?
Yes. I'm kind of proud of myself now. Oh my god, I'm gonna be like just writing like anything. I am no artist. I leave it to Mike Schmidt from the DC Podcast Network to come up with themes and like lyrics or whatever. So, but like I just all I've been doing this week, when I heard that news, is like ha 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 ha. Oh, the vaccine is taking me over. Let's just move on before I break the show.
Got one more topic, everybody, and we're
Yeah.
going into HBO territory. We have one more topic, then we'll get to Q&A. So this is something that has been, I guess, discussed quite a bit amongst fans about would they ever do this, and well, it's happening. We're getting a sequel series to Game of Thrones, not a prequel, not an adjacent series, a sequel series after the events of Game of Thrones, which is surprising because I honestly thought if they were to ever to do this, it would be a lot longer from now. But I remember back in 2019 when the show ended that I had said I could see them doing a sequel series focusing on Arya Stark, who is, of course, the Stark family, the youngest of the, well, not is she the youngest? Yeah, I think she's the youngest at this point, who is her whole goal is to travel past the point of what is known in the world in terms of what's been mapped out in the world and to see what's out there, what mysteries lay out there. And we're not getting that, but potentially she could pop up because we're getting potentially a sequel series is in early development. Kit Harington, of course, seen here, Jon Snow, aka Aegon Targaryen, is already signed on if the series moves forward. If this is not guaranteed, they're still in development, but the fact that Kit's already signed on tells me that it's probably going to go ahead because Game of Thrones is one of the biggest, most beloved shows, regardless of the final 2 seasons, how people feel about it. The show was still loved by many. It took the world by storm. And with Kit Harington signed on, I feel like HBO is going to try their damnedest and their hardest to make this happen. What's interesting, too, is that they have not... Holy fuck, Jennifer.
Miss Jennifer. Wow.
Oh, okay. Can we will answer...
You breathe and I will act. I breathe and then think of your answer and I will answer it. Since you seem very shook right now. Even though I hope and want a West Coast Avengers movie or series, a reason why it could not happen, U.S. Agent is in the Thunderbolts for the MCU, but in the comic, he's a very big part in the comic, but the MCU could permanently keep him on the Thunderbolts. I mean, there's no reason he couldn't be on both, but I feel like it would be more natural for him to stay on Thunderbolts because, he's not that likable of a character. And he is very, there is a lot of issues with him. So, and I think that's kind of what they're setting him up to be, at least from what Valentina was, or Val, as she hates to be called. I think that's what they're kind of putting her up at. But, but West Coast Avengers, where this could be a show where I kind of would love a West Coast Avengers series. I would love to, follow the team on a weekly basis, and also because we haven't never had an Avengers TV show before. So, but are you breathing again?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
My mind was racing as I was trying to keep up with my thing about Game of Thrones. Okay, so I feel that the West Coast Avengers it's going to happen. They're probably going to make it a movie. With the whole thing, U.S. Agent and the Thunderbolts, I feel like that he's going to stay in the Thunderbolts because they're basically establishing that with Valentina about her trying to recruit him, like basically creating his new suit or giving him his new suit at the end of the series of Falcon Winter Soldier. And yeah, I look, the West Coast Avengers, like, it's something that people have been asking for a while in terms of that team. I feel like it's going to happen. They'll make a movie. I don't think it could be a series, as if the story they have to tell, if they tell it in 2 hours, it's not going to work. I don't know. Maybe they could do West Coast Avengers as a series first to establish the team, because in the Avengers they had set up all those characters via solo films. But if they don't want to set all these characters up in West Coast Avengers and solo films, they could just do the series. Kind of like, think about, like, you know how the Defenders brought all the characters together, even if they already had their own shows, like that, except they're establishing them as a series is going on, versus them all having solo series and leading into a West Coast Avengers. It could just be some characters we already recognize and know, and then the others we don't, they're being introduced and established in this show for the first time. I mean, that's what they've been doing with these other series. Like, whenever they've introduced a new character, like Agatha Harkness, like, literally we didn't get an Agatha Harkness show. She was introduced in WandaVision, and then now she has her own series. It could be stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it was Agatha all along. But in terms of a series with introducing the new characters for the team, it would make the most sense time-wise.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer.
So much, Jennifer. So people are commenting a little bit about this, saying have mixed feelings with the Johnson sequel considering where the story ended. Point, Arya sequel would have been more interesting. Maisie Williams said that she read doing the show so young. I've heard that
really?
too. I'll be there every week for Johnson sequel series, no matter how bad it is. So the thing was, too, back to my thing before Jennifer so graciously, thank you, Jennifer, for supporting the show. Is that they have not announced any creatives whatsoever on the show. I'm telling you, it's not going to be Benioff and Weiss. They're gone. They're not going to be coming back to Game of Thrones.
Wait, who are they?
They were the showrunners that did so well with adapting the books, and then once they got past the books is where you saw how they weren't really good at. They were good at adapting. They weren't good at actually telling, like, because George R.R. Martin, the creator of Game of Thrones, obviously, like, gave them a blueprint essentially of what happens past the books that were released, but they had the books to then base off of their actual like, once they got past the books, they saw what the outlines were, but they didn't have actual context to a lot of stuff, so they had to make stuff up.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah. So no, yeah, it won't be Benioff, Weiss, Dave and Dan and Dev. Yeah, Dave or whatever. They're not going to come back. But with him already signed on, I'm guessing we're probably going to see some of the other cast members who are still alive come back for this show. But I think he's going to be the main focus, because see, you don't sign on an actor, especially Kit Harington, if the show's not about him. If the show is more focused on his character, then you sign him, you get him signed on first. If there's multiple people that you're going to be following, like Game of Thrones following multiple storylines and multiple characters as main focuses, you would have to then essentially, unless we hear more information that Maisie Williams, Arya's coming back, we're getting Sophie Turner coming back as Sansa, then they're just doing basically Game of Thrones 2.0. They're just continuing the show. But if they stick with Kit Harington as the lead, and we're hearing new actors and new characters popping up, and then we hear of guest stars, aka bringing some of these characters back for an episode or two per season, then I'm fine with that as well.
We have another super chat that I missed that I want to make sure we include. Do you feel we will see a back-like character in Joker 2?
No, unless there's a huge time jump, because Bruce is so tiny. Which I don't see them doing a huge time jump. I don't know.
I think we might see another Batman related character, like, we might, maybe like I don't know, Commissioner, young Commissioner Gordon, or
young Jim Gordon. Yeah,
I think it'd be cool if it was Ben McKenzie, just because.
Jennifer, we do appreciate it. We did miss you last week, because we do like your of course, you supporting the show, but also you giving your insight on things. But it is okay. We thank you for being here. Of course, we thank all of you for being here.
Of course.
Are we ready to dive into some Q&A?
Yeah, so let's do some Q&A.
Is that your song?
That's my song. I will find a better voice actor that can do that, so they can just go like Q&A. Maybe I will get Lady Gaga to sing it as Harley Quinn or something. I don't know. Oh, Lord, I can. It's a miracle if I can even get close to Lady Gaga, let alone even pay her anything, because I ain't rich. Oh, we have another super from Jennifer. So that we can start with our Q&A. It is for you, Jordan.
Oh, thank you. Well, I have to say, first of all, I just saw a text message because I had my phone down, or I was like on the docks. So we have Fly in the house, flying around, and apparently it got trapped in the bedroom, and apparently Lucy the dog was freaking out and growling at it.
Oh, well, I don't like bugs either,
It's funny.
so I hear you.
I'm very tired. I might lay down and close my eyes. Okay, I love you, honey. Okay, so to your question, so I had actually messaged Mama's Geeky, Tessa, who runs the site. I'm taking a small break from writing articles at the moment. And if I was to do a ranking, I would have to get it approved by her. But I'm taking a small break at the moment because I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed in terms of stuff that I've been doing, and I feel exhausted at times. This week has been kind of rough. I talked to Andy about it a little bit and last week as well about I have been just not feeling like myself, and I feel like I'm just kind of pushing myself. So he was giving me some tips and stuff. So, but yeah, she's completely understands what's going on, and she says it'll be here when you get back, and so I appreciate that a lot from her because it's just a lot, especially with all the stuff that that we cover on the show here every Friday, and all the stuff that I do outside, all the stuff Andy does. We do a lot of stuff, and sometimes it just gets a lot. Because trust me, I want to do more stuff for my channel to kind of help it grow, but at the same time, I got a full-time job, and at times I feel dead because this upcoming week I have to stay up and do a live reaction to Superman and Lois, and then wake up at 4 a.m. to cover Obi-Wan finale, and then do Flash that night. I'm gonna be dead on my feet. I'm gonna hate it, but at least Obi-Wan is done this upcoming week. So,
in the following week, you're gonna, I mean that might be a little break, when you're.
Yeah, because when her mom's here, I won't be doing as much stuff. I'll just be kind of just taking a breather. You know what I'm saying? Oh, do the song. Oh, you want me to do my song? My Q&A song? Hold on, let me pull the picture up here, okay? Q&A, ask us questions or we'll fucking leave. Gotta get aggressive at the end there, guys. Gotta get aggressive.
Yeah, always getting aggressive there. But never super from Jennifer. Did you guys play any of the OG 2004, 2005 Star Wars Battlefront games?
I did.
I did not.
They were fun. It's like they're very different than the newer Battlefront games for sure in terms of playability and just the mechanics of it, but they were just so fun. And they were developing a third game back then, but it never happened. It never went through. Isn't it cool how they managed to hide not only Matt but David and Brandon as well for cameos? I was surprised as well, Charlie. The thing was Matt Letcher was shown off in the promo for that week last week when they showed the promo, and he was there. Now people said that they had. I didn't see this. Maybe did you notice this in the intro when it's playing the episode at the beginning and the credits are at the bottom of the screen? Did they show that David Ramsey and Brandon Routh did they name them or no?
What credits?
Well, when you're watching the Flash episode, when it's first, like when the show opens, they have the credits at the bottom of the screen, like they're showing like.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I didn't. I mean, because when I watched the screen last week, I didn't even. I mean, okay, so I can admit this now. I learned about the Brandon cameo a couple of months ago, that again it was going to be very short, but David, I didn't know that he was showing up in here, but no, I didn't look at them. I don't remember if the screens usually have credits in them like that. So, and because I wasn't the one to live tweet this week on the Flash podcast, I wasn't really, watch. I mean, I was watching, but I was also, like not watching, if that makes sense. So, but I'm sure their names were in there. Although I kind of wish sometimes they could just like not have those names in there so that you can, so we can be surprised, because like I remember like one of the things that ruined the Small World series finale for me a little bit was when they revealed that in the credits they revealed that Aaron Ashmore was in it, and then like that's how we all figured out. But now we know how they're going to bring back, how they're doing a new Jimmy Olsen again. So,
well, XYZ says that he remembers seeing David Ramsey in the credits. Not sure about Brandon, and I think I saw Canada Graph say that they have to pay the actors more money not to show their names in the credits or something, like to kind of, I'm not sure how that works, how the money works on that. But I don't, cause see, whenever I watch it, when I watch a show, I don't try to look at those names because I phase them out because I'm trying to focus on the episode. And I'm so used to just watching TV now in general that literally I just don't pay attention to the rolling credits on the bottom because I'm just, not focused on it. So I really was surprised when Brandon and David showed up because I'm like, I didn't see their names because I don't look for that.
And there's super chat, and I think this is probably more for you because I don't know much
fight,
about
even though this would never happen, when would it fight? Star Wars clone ARC Trooper from the prequels or Sith Trooper? A clone ARC Trooper, because Sith Trooper, they really weren't doing anything. The Sith Troopers were just stormtroopers with red. That's all they were. Clone ARC Troopers are very specifically, they were specifically they're specific troopers. A Sith trooper to me is just a stormtrooper who's not painted white. It's a red trooper. Both those games were my childhood and my all-time favorite Star Wars games. So good they were. Yeah, so good they were. So good they were. They hid Matt until they showed him in the promo. I really hope. Oh, okay. So because I didn't hear that Matt Letcher actually shot for Flash until the promo.
Yeah, I wonder if he did it like right after his Legends episodes.
I'm guessing because we had heard that he was going to be on Legends. They announced that, but they did not announce this, which was, I think, the best part about it.
It was nice, and also the Flash did something cool with Matabard, as one of my friends calls him, and rather than what Legends did, because I'm like, Legends, stop taking my Flash characters and just doing whatever you want. Whatever you don't make any sense.
He showed up and he threw away Green Lantern 2 years. I've been looking forward to this. Okay. I think Andy's he's looking down because he.
No, I'm listening. I want you to start. I want.
I thought you know something.
No, I didn't want to because I kept interrupting you all the time. So I was like, I will let you talk first.
My only thing is, I think it's not over. I think him throwing the ring away is not over. He's popping up in the season 2 finale of Superman and Lois. Not saying that that's why he's popping back up because the ring's showing up again, but I think it's not over. I feel like this is
in 2 weeks from now, so we're very close.
It's not like we're going to wait a while. I think that what it is that he's made the choice to throw it away, but it's going to come back because I feel like the ring wants him, and that no matter what, he has to accept it. Or at least, because see, with the fact that they mentioned that he's been away from his family, he calls up Lila. We don't see that in the conversation. They didn't bring her in to shoot anything. But the fact that he goes back, I think after their conversation, he shows Superman and Lois. I feel like the ring comes back. I feel like that ring comes back again and presents itself to him again. And they made a point too. I don't know if this was ever addressed. Maybe you would know this more than me. They made a point to say he doesn't even know what's inside the box because the green light is so strong he can't actually see what it is. Have they ever said that before, or was that new this week for Flash? Because we saw.
Who are they?
What do you mean? Who are they?
Yeah, who's did Diggle say in the episode that I can't even see what it is?
Yeah, Diggle said that, but has that been said in another?
I would have to rewatch previous episodes because I have literally forgotten a lot about what happened last year with that storyline. And here's what I will say about this whole thing, because we said this on the Flashback, because here's the thing. People who saw my tweet, I don't know if you saw what I tweeted a couple of days ago, but when I watched this episode last, I don't know, it was Friday or Saturday or something, I knew that, oh my God, Twitter is going to be this is going to be a bloodbath because I could tell that this was going to get a lot of reactions. And I want to just point out firstly that, if, let's say we don't see this continue on Superman Lois, I want to, what I think has happened, because I think there's a lot of people pointing fingers right now, especially at Eric Wallace and the writers on the Flash and so on. And let's remember that it was Mark Guggenheim on Arrow who started it, but also we're not going to blame things on him either, because I think what has happened is that DC regretted approving the story, because we talked about it on the Flashback this week, and we talked about it and I brought up one of the quotes where Guggenheim had said to the Hollywood Reporter in 2020 that they had to pitch this a year in advance to get it approved, like a whole year before even before Arrow season 8 had started filming. they had to get us approved, and then it was like they had to be very careful with what parameters not to break and so on, and so. And I think what has happened that they have regretted their decision, and in order to be able to continue using Diggle, I think they had to find a way to wrap it up. And we had one of our listeners even say that they were like, no matter the result, they're happy at least that the Flash wrapped it up rather than just pretend that this never happened and just moved on.
That's a good point. I've theorized that too. That I think it's going to come back, or they told them they could do this, and now they're saying no because of the Green Lantern show or something else that's coming into play. But I think it's either or. I don't think there's a third option. And I'll say this: if there is no continuation, and that whatever happens next with Diggle has nothing to do with that box, no Lantern ring. I'm glad
It's the point.
It is, but I'm glad that they wrapped it up because it's a storyline that needed to be wrapped up or
addressed. At least addressed. So wait, like it's like
they've been dangling that ring for 2 years.
Yeah,
actually 3 now. 2022. Well, no, 2. 2020. I keep thinking 2019 was the end of Arrow.
I wish it was still 2019, so we didn't have, we weren't in the times we're right now. Wait, we have a couple of super titles I want
to. I wanted to get to this first because it was a little bit of a switch up question here from Nathaniel. What are your thoughts on John Crye's portrayal of Lex Luthor and Supergirl? I liked it.
I really enjoyed him. He was really, really good. He surprised me a lot.
Oh yeah, his first appearance was so interesting.
That episode 15 of it was season 4 when he came in, right?
I think so. I remember specifically the flashback scene with Lena, the red sun or whatever. That was interesting. Like I thought that was like that really showed how like brutal Lex could get. Like just the way he was speaking. I'm like, man, this is because I was
scared by him.
Yeah, I was like, wow, okay, yeah. We got a couple super chats. Thank you guys so much. So Victor here. Do you feel Diggle not being Green Lantern yet is just to have him supposedly his TV show is doing? Lex Luthor will be the villain of season 3 of Superman and Lois.
John Cryer just booked a new TV show today with Donald Faison from Legends Tomorrow as who's the gold. So
really?
Yeah. So
you know what show? I didn't hear about this.
It's I can pull up his Twitter. It's but yeah, they did just get announced for a new show today, and so that's gonna leave them unavailable. So
no Booster Gold, no Lex Luthor in the Arrowverse.
I'm gonna.
Which I feel like at some point they're going to bring in his Lex Luthor into Superman and Lois, but probably not right now.
Yeah, I think if anything, he will at least show up as a guest. So Donald Faison and Abigail Spencer will star in a new NBC pilot with John Cryer. So yeah, that's what's happening. As opposed to them, again, I know people keep talking about Justice U. It's adorable, but no, if anything, I'm kind of hoping that Diggle kind of sticks around on Superman Lois maybe next season as a regular.
Well, they did say that he's gonna set up his appearance sets up season 3, so possible. Jennifer, once again, it is kind of said that EA only has put out 3 total Star Wars games in their franchise, but LucasArts Games put out 10 in like 5 years, 2 years for the OG Star Wars Battlefront, and almost 4 years for the new Battlefront games. Yeah, I feel like this EA deal, I feel like they're now getting out of the EA deal is probably the smartest move because EA got the exclusive rights for a number of years for Star Wars and they barely put out anything because they announced a couple of stuff that never came out. So that's kind of like an issue because like they signed an exclusive to be the only studio that could license out or within what all the studios they own under EA, they can make games. But outside of EA, there was no Star Wars games being made. So I feel like this exclusive deal was not the right approach. It's kind of unfortunate.
Do we know when it might expire?
I think it's about to expire. I think it's in the next couple years. Like they've had it since 2014 or 15 or 16. So it's winding down for sure.
And I would just wait it out, and then I would, take it back to understand.
Suit me up, Uncle Alfred.
I'm glad you pulled that up because I was actually.
I was ready. I was ready for it.
Uncle Alfred. Thank you, Jennifer. Connor. So, okay, we're talking about Legacies. They just gave the Legacies TV series a proper ending, even though it was canceled, and they will be doing the same thing for Roswell, New Mexico. Well, Roswell, New Mexico is the best show ever created. That's the on-running joke with me and my wife. Because we never seen the show. yeah, ongoing joke, because literally we would see whenever we would watch like Stargirl, or back when we watched The Flash live together or anything like that for the last number of years, Roswell, New Mexico would have promos, right? We would always joke, "Oh, honey, that's our favorite show. There it is, our favorite show." We didn't give a shit. We didn't care. We just loved making fun of it. But yeah, I had heard Legacies, of course, came to an end this week. This past Thursday, they had Klaus Michelson, aka Joseph Morgan, show up in some sort of scene. I did watch, I think, a little bit of it on YouTube. I have no idea the context. I've never seen Legacies, but I think it's interesting they brought him back for this, and I'm glad they found a way, because
He dead.
he is dead, but also at the same time, like, they had to
dead.
find a way to have him show up in his daughter's show. So they found a way. But
Brought back the mom, though. I'm just saying, but
she died in a fire. Who cares?
but
She
he
burned.
died. He died too.
No, not true. He didn't die. Let's see. Why do you think Dion is helping Thawne? Well,
I think Iris, when she got him sick, I think it split him up into two Deons. And
you think it's
there's
a negative still force.
you mean negative speed force?
Well, he says negative speed force, but like people are saying it's the net. Wait, there's a speed force and a negative speed force. Do you think there's a negative steel force, or do you think there really is the time sickness?
Well, it depends who, because we know that Eobard essentially created the negative speed force. So I wonder, like, did negative Dion end up creating his own negative still force? Because we know like because it seems like the negative forces had to like be created by an avatar or something. So I don't know. We guess we will see in the next 2 weeks. 2 more episodes.
Yeah, we'll see.
How could we forget?
I'm the real Godspeed.
I'm the god of puking.
I'm the god of puking when I run. Ooh. Do you think HBO Max would consider saying with Batwoman?
At this point, the later it gets, the less chance it has, because contracts are now like going to start expiring with actors and whatnot. And we
after
sign.
cancellation? Is it a month?
Like something like between 1 to 3 months or something like that. So it's and I think the actors are they're moving on. But I think there's a good chance we will see maybe Batwoman next season on the Flash, and maybe Super Lois pulls her heads out of their assets and actually starts to acknowledge they're part of a larger franchise that made their show even possible.
Yeah, I'd heard about this because Joseph on a live thing on his Instagram said that he had said he would never appear on the show.
I heard he said it a lot of times.
Yeah, he kept saying the timing wasn't right. And it makes sense because he literally just died, and he played the character for so long. So, because I think after when they announced Legacies, and of course the originals ended, and his death, people are asking, you should come on to Legacies, and he's like, no, because he just died. Like, it just wouldn't make sense. That'd be like if in Endgame, which it happens in Endgame, Iron Man snaps, and then he pops up in the next movie, and it's after the events of Endgame. He just magically just shows up. Like, it just would feel weird.
Yeah, it needs to be emotional, you need to have like an emotional break a little bit, after that has happened. Otherwise it feels very compromising to like the big ending they did for him.
And they waited 4 seasons to do it. They could have easily have cheapened his death by bringing him back in season 1 finale, but they waited till the season, of course, the ending of the show. But after 4 seasons of the show, they brought him in. Yeah, Joseph is going to be on Titans. Yep. Gonna be on Titans.
He's very excited about it. He like anytime he talks about it, he's just like I can tell he's having a good time.
Oh, they had access to the afterlife. Is that how they did it? I don't even know. By the way, at the Zoom call, but it was magic. Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, it was a moom, a magic Zoom,
a moom,
a moom. No, I saw that scene too because I used to watch Legacies until the end of season 2, and then I just haven't had time to watch it anymore. But I heard it got really weird. I'm not gonna say bad because I haven't watched it myself. But I've heard it got like a little weirder in terms of some of the characters. One of the lead characters leave this season and so on. But
we've created another thing, the moom.
You're welcome. Trademark that.
Trademark the moom, everybody.
Yeah,
moom.
I have no idea. I don't know how to create a moom, but it's
well, you just get on Zoom and it's magic, right? Yeah,
magic is like like Doctor, Ooh, magic. Like, ooh, like, I can't. I can't do spells.
Satana, whatever. You know what?
I can say one word backwards. Lol.
You're hilarious.
I am the.
You're so funny. I'm gonna go back to the right top with this, like
you know what I've done. You know you know what that joke means that I have done.
Wow, you have seriously leveled up.
Oh shit!
I have level.
Someone had commented on this week's episode of the Flash reaction. They said
Cecile actually leveled up, but they didn't say the power.
No, Mina leveled up to negative Flash. Mina. This was the second comment on the show tonight from Anthony. He says, "You're just season 5 renewal. I know you agree with me." Of course, I'm still waiting.
Hey, season 5 too. Don't leave me hanging, Anthony.
Of course. You know what I think what would happen is if we got God Diggle speed on this, we get that season 5 renewal.
Yeah, that would be the best season of the show.
It would be.
I mean, you know what? Greg Watson and Brandon Beatty would probably find a way to fix that.
Because imagine we open up the season 5 premiere of Young Justice, right? We have the continuation of that scene with Darkseid and Kara and Black Mary and all that, right? The New Furies, and out from a freaking boom tube comes God Diggle Speed, and it's David Ramsey in a Godspeed suit, his season 4 Arrow helmet on, and it's live action Diggle along with the animation. There's no explanation. It's just live action David Ramsey I keep saying God Diggle speed suit, a Godspeed suit with his arrow. This image. It's got to be this. He
horrible photoshopped image.
Yeah, he comes in with that helmet on. He has the Godspeed suit, and then what he does, he throws up after getting out of the boom tube because it's so much to handle. He can't handle it, and he shakes hands with Darkseid. And we start the season off, and he's the true big bad.
And then he froze up on Vandal Savage.
And Vandal Savage just like swipes it away, like. Ugh.
That means he would have to like pull out his arms from my eyes because he's always standing like this.
Yeah, I feel like the whole world. It's interesting. Mongol.
I don't like Mongol. Mongol can go suck it.
Wow. That was it's rumored that Mongol's going to be in Superman and Lois. I'm like, I don't believe that.
Is this another fear that has somehow become a rumor? Because
I get your point. I don't know. All I know is that I heard the people were talking about. I think Mongol's going to show up in Superman and Lois. I don't know.
If that's how we're doing rumors now. I'm going to say that I think a fart will show up on Superman and Lois. There we go. Rumor exclusive confirmed. It's happening.
I can tell you right now. I bet there's been takes where people are doing a take and they fart in the middle of it during a take.
The fart will be played by Grace Randolph. So, but. I will see myself out.
Perfect casting. He's out.
I think that you leave a trail of bodies every damn place that you go.
Harvey dead. Can we trust him?
Well, this is a complication.
Obviously, this particular comment didn't age too well.
I've been playing clips with you for con.
I heard I was because I have a window in my between my kitchen and my living room / office. So I was just standing by the window and just watching the clips.
Yeah. So the way Caitlin turns here is so interesting because it's so the sequence is so perfect because it's the way she turns and the way that Grant's face is. Grant could never pull off this sequence again exactly as it is. That's why it's so fucking fun.
Right into the camera.
Yeah, that's why I zoomed in because I realized he looked to the camera. He broke the fourth wall, but it's the fact that the way the kid turns, she's like, it's just everything just works with that scene so well. Get Tyler Mane, who played Black Star on Jupiter's Legacy, as Mongol. I've never seen Jupiter's Legacy. Wait, not Jupiter Ascending, that horrible movie. Jupiter's Legacy was that Netflix show. Okay.
Maybe it was super different from Connor, who says, and Julie Plake, who's the creator of the Vampire Diaries universe, has announced that the Vampire Diaries saga will continue. Well, let's see if the new CW owners will
agree to that.
Will look at.
Did she announce that today, Connor?
She talked about it that they have ideas in mind, but I'm just like, in that case, they could have just done another season of Legacies. But I think the Vampire Diaries universe is going to be over for quite some time.
Saying.
Mr. Fernando, where have you been?
He said, so farewell to the TVDU, the Vampire Diaries universe for now, but not forever. If you learn one thing from this franchise, no one's ever really gone for good, always and forever. But my thing is,
that's cute, Julie. That's very cute.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Not to be rude, you did a lot of shows, a lot of episodes, but your show got canceled. So I don't know. I feel since there wasn't anything in the pipeline, I don't know if they want to continue making your shows. I mean, I don't know how is Legacies doing compared to Vampire Diaries and originals. That's the question.
I mean, the ratings for me, ratings doesn't really matter on the CW because like all of them kind of do roughly the same anyway. Like Flash and Lois. I mean, yeah, they're doing great, but they're maybe getting like 200K more than other shows at this point. And like nothing is doing million viewers anymore on the CW, sadly. I wasn't too much into the beard. Honestly, I didn't look like it wasn't the beard. It was that they made him look crazy and like sick and whatever. So we don't want that for Brother Diggle. We don't want that. But Mr. Fernando, where have you been, sir? It's been a minute.
He likes to take breaks.
Okay, all right.
He's an interesting individual.
Party confirmed.
Why would it?
Oh,
what's your question, sir?
What's the question? I will scroll up. Oh, there we go. Do you think we will see Willem Dafoe return as Green Goblin again after No Way Home?
Nope.
Why?
I feel like it was a one and done situation. I feel like with the villains, we're probably not going to see them again, unless they continue Toby and Andrew's stories in their own movies, which they probably won't be doing either.
I mean, No Way Home did a lot of money.
That's true. But I feel it's more likely Andrew Garfield instead of Toby in terms of popping up in another movie, his own franchise. I don't know. But also too, unless did they fix the timeline to where he doesn't die when he goes back?
Yeah, I mean that's what I assume. Like when they all went back, they're not, like they've now been given a second chance. And then but the thing is like there's still a possibility that they could go evil again. But at least now they're not all dead, because that was one thing that was very annoying with the Raimi movies, was that every villain had to almost die. Like Sandman was the one who really survived. I'm doing well, thank you, Fernando.
How about asking how I'm doing? You know what? You know how I feel about this? This is what I think about you. This is what I think about you.
Fernando. Oh no, not that close.
Fuck! What the fuck? God damn it! Yeah. And then I know, Fernando, you do this like every day.
I think that you leave a trail of bodies every damn place that you go.
Just for clarification, are you saying that he's going around telling people that they leave a trail of body, or that Fernando is leaving a trail of body?
He leaves a trail of bodies. And Fernando, when you didn't tell me that you hope I'm doing well, this is how I felt. This is what you did to me. This is what you did to me. Fernando, we really know who you're truly aligned with. We know whose universe you play in. We know.
I mean, let me have my stats as well. I mean, I'm actually like, guys, I'm really hoping you guys will show up next Friday. This will be in the 10+ year history that Chainsaw React has existed. This will be the first video that has no chainsaw in it.
Nope. On my channel, and there's no chainsaw.
And I can't go buy a chainsaw from the store. Like
you could.
With what money? I can't afford it. But like I'm hoping you guys will. I'm hoping you guys will show up.
So to everyone here, Next
Yeah.
week's episode, I'm not going to be here. There will be an episode of Endless Multiverse 19.5 on the 24th, next Friday. Andy will be hosting, will be taking over the channel. He has a guest he's trying to get confirmed. I think it's almost confirmed-ish.
Almost
maybe?
from yeah.
Almost. But there will be a show without me, but Andy will be here doing a 19.5 episode of Endless Multiverse. I'm not sure what format he's going to do. He's taking the reins on that. On the 1st of July, the following Friday, there will be no show.
Mhm.
On the 8th of July will be our celebratory 20th episode because I'll be on a little bit of a vacation on the 1st of July, so I won't be here. Takeover hour, basically. So he's taking over.
So I would
There you
really
go.
appreciate if you guys will show up.
You should just put like a secondary monitor picture of a chainsaw as a replacement. There you go.
Okay.
It'll probably be as insightful as me.
Oh, Miss Jennifer. Well, bye, Jennifer. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope Jennifer I hope to see you next week. And it's gonna be fun. You know, we're still gonna do. Hang on.
Next week to support Andy when he does his takeover show. It's gonna be weird. Chainsaw Reacts is
Wait,
gonna be.
what the fuck do you think I'm gonna be doing? Like, we're gonna talk about Miss Marvel. We're gonna talk about Obi-Wan.
Chainsaw Reacts is gonna be live on YouTube, but I ain't gonna be live on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the weird part about it. Chainsaw Reacts is gonna be live, but I won't be live.
Okay, I need to address this. Wait, what?
Generous, but that's Jennifer Generous.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Okay, we need to address this because everyone is asking. Okay, I will do it if we get up to if everyone comes together collectively as a big super chat. Because listen, I can't just shake my head willy nilly. But if you all do it, I might consider also even doing it live.
Oh, there you go. That
May be live, or at least that like if we hit that goal, I don't know what it would be, but if we hit that goal, then the next episode I will have shaved my head, and maybe I can film something kind of like before or after something. Like I will do it, I will do it, but I don't know, I don't know if you all collectively get up to I don't know, like a $500 super or something. I will shave my head. I have my trimmer is in that box in that. To the right there, there's that's kind of like my makeup, skincare corner. The trimmer is in one of those boxes. My then my other shaving machine, that I kind of used to round it out is charging. If we all can get up to 500, I will do it. I will do it. I'm not joking. I will do it.
So Patrick Stewart
Jordan's panicking right now.
Do what you want, man. Patrick Stewart would be like to return as Professor after the Multiverse of Madness. You think it happen? No. Unless it's another multiverse situation.
I think as far as the 616 Magneto and Professor X, so they're probably gonna have to go a little younger. So they, because listen, I love Patrick Stewart and Sarah McCallum, but they're getting older, so I don't know how what
The comments. I'm so excited about how so epic.
That means you haven't known the triumphs and defeats, the epic highs and lows of high school football. But you will.
The seventh and final season of the CW's Riverdale coming next year in 2023.
It's gonna be over. What storylines do you think Jon Snow will show a cover? It'll probably explore probably the fact that the show went down the shitter at the end of season 8. Probably that. Probably the fact that he killed Daenerys. I don't know. Probably those things.
Daenerys. Well, who played her?
Oh, Emilia Clarke.
Okay.
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jennifer, for another trip. To say goodbye, one last clip from each of you.
Oh, clips. Let's play one last clip. Okay, you pick a clip to play. I'll pick a clip to play.
I will give her the Joker because we talked about Joker today. So so it'll be kind of like a two-parter. So take it away, Past Daddy. Well, well, well.
And I want to give you an amazing clip that I can't get enough of this. Let's see here.
Goodness gracious. Another super chat from Connor.
The Duffer Brothers already say they have an idea for a spinoff for Stranger Things, and it'll be very, 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 very different. I wouldn't be surprised. The show, like if they were to do a spinoff for Stranger Things, and it's just the same, it's like a very similar show, then why even do it? Like it's got to be different. Maybe tonally it's going to be different. Maybe I don't know, timeline, maybe. Riverdale's peak fiction. What? Nah.
Rob of all the Emmys. I'm excited to see those actors moving on to different new projects because I will say this: if there's one thing I love about Riverdale consistently is that they have some phenomenal actors. That, like I think KG Apa is very underrated, and excited to see where he will go from here. Lily Reinhardt is a fucking queen that I will bow before if I ever meet her. Because she's so kick-ass, both as Betty and also in real life. Shutting up some nasty people online, and and I didn't say one person had to, okay, if everyone like collectively, like, if I don't know, like if everyone thought it was like $10 each or something, and we get up to 500, then I'm like, I will swear an oath.
It's a big goal. But regardless, if funds are tight, we completely understand. We just thank you all for being here and being a part of the show. Oliver Tech laugh brilliant.
I'm so petty because I feel like after all this time that I, because I'd known about the death for I can't say how long I knew about it, but it was longer than probably Warner Brothers didn't want me to know. But so that when that happened, I'm like, there's all these YouTubers doing reaction videos and so on. This was clearly before I knew Jordan, so I didn't mean to sound like that. I was like, reactors are bad, but that was like my sentence. I'm like, I put a phone next to me and I record that, and like, and when I listen back to it, I'm like, oh my god, I sound maniacal. What the fuck is wrong with me? Scott Evers, hello. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Do you think Mia will return in season 9? Well, Eric wants to bring her back, and I think she will be back in the second half of the season once Walker Independence is done filming, because I think Walker Independence will be shooting. I think they're shooting maybe right now, and we know season 9 of The Flash will start filming in the fall, and season 9 will be premiere next year. So I think there's a very good chance we're gonna see Mia, but not like I would not expect her to show up in like like the first couple of episodes. I think she'll be like in the back half of the season, like maybe after episode 10 or 11 or something.
And I don't know if they're going to do this, but I would like to hope that they could wrap up the storyline between with William being captured, because they can't just leave that hanging forever, because eventually they won't have a show to wrap it up.
Yeah. I'm squat. Here's the thing: if they do that, then I think there's gonna be a lot of letters being like, "Well, then Eric, why can't you fix it as far as cliffhanger?" Because it's not his job.
Exactly. I have not seen. I've seen the trailers. I never saw the show. I never saw.
It looks good. I haven't seen it either, but it looks good.
I love shaving other people's heads for some reason, but I can't volunteer, but I'll show you. No, it's all good. It's all good.
Fuck, what time is it over there for you?
Yeah, good question. I didn't even think about that.
And he's just like, oh, it's just like he's just like, oh, it's just 5 p.m. where I am.
Why is that Reaver from Kenobi got so much hate, but Mace Windu didn't get any hate? Oh, what is Samuel Jackson? That's why. I mean, you're not wrong.
Sexism.
There you go.
Both are partial racism.
Yeah. Also, to think back to when the prequel films were coming out, there was no Twitter. There wasn't really. There was no real. There wasn't any social media back then, especially when Revenge of the Sith.
YouTube was not even a thing back then either.
Yeah, so like movies that came out back then didn't have an immediate response from the audience like it does now, where what everybody thinks about something. Back then, you didn't know unless you called somebody, unless you lived with somebody. You had no idea what other people thought about something until you saw them. But now with social media, you know immediately when everybody thinks about when they come out of a movie or watch a TV show. You know immediately what they think. It's a very different landscape now in terms of how things are seen now. You think Eric could get Katie and Juliana back to wrap up the story?
Well, Juliana's show pilot did not go forward, sadly. And Katie, I don't know what she's doing right now. I think she's directing a movie right now. So, but yeah, if they're, if they're available.
If they're available, and I think it'd be kind of interesting just to bring the Canaries into an episode or two.
Yeah, I mean, I especially want, I like, listen, my show, as if I'm somehow involved, but like, when I say my show, I talk about it in the way that, because in the DC Podcast Network, sometimes we would kind of like drag each other to be like, well, at least my show doesn't do this in their season finales or whatever and so on. But if my show did give us Black Siren because Arrow fucked up, lost her ratings, and got critically bombed because how horrible the decision was. But so I think it would be natural for Katie Cassidy to come back to The Flash, and of course Juliana Harkness, she is so amazing. I remember the last time I interviewed her because the publicist forgot to come and wrap it up, so we all sat there and like. But I could kind of tell that everyone else was running out of questions, so I kept just asking her more and more stuff and so on. And like we talked about Birds of Prey, we talked about like how she kind of paved the way for like a person of color, Black Canary, and so on. And so I just she and also her and Katie were so much fun together on screens. I think it would be nice to see them come back.
Was saying here, I missed the days because you could construct your own opinion and then discuss with friends who watch the same stuff. Instead of constructing your own opinion,
that's why you do DMs.
Yeah, well, construct your own opinion in the zeitgeist instead of now in the zeitgeist where everybody knows everything. Back then, you only had your group of friends to talk to. You didn't have Twitter or Facebook to find out more stuff. And of course, with everything like Facebook and Twitter, everybody has an opinion. What's up with the Flash movie? They're going to recast Ezra or delay it for another 5 years. They're probably going to delay it for like 10 more years. Probably. I don't know. Who knows?
That's super from Jennifer. I don't know. I will. Jennifer, I feel so bad I can't answer any Star Wars questions. So like, I will say whatever Jordan thinks, I will likely agree with.
Purge Trooper. Interesting. I think it would be a really cool fight. Can we see that? Can we just do that? That'd be great.
The puke trooper. I'm not puke. Purge.
Purge. Diggle? Is it Diggle in that suit? It's Diggle.
Puke trooper.
I was like,
Purge. Purge. What is a purge trooper?
Favorite villain from Supergirl? Rain.
I didn't answer a question. What do you feel? Who would win?
I don't know. I think it'd be a really interesting fight. That's what I think it'd be a really cool fight. I don't know who'd win.
So what is a purge trooper?
Well, here's the thing. They keep adding new versions of troopers into Star Wars because the galaxy is so vast. They have so many different types of troopers. They keep introducing into the timeline. I'm trying to remember what purge troopers did. Good, tired. It's been a long day. Yeah. Oh, purge troopers are basically they wear black like the Inquisitors. They have.
Oh, that was what we saw last week. There was a purge troop.
Puke troop. I saw that Katie Cassidy posted the title page of a script on her Instagram. Yeah, so she's doing something else. But did you have a favorite villain from Supergirl?
I mean, Lex was definitely one of them. The problem is that so many of their villains got worse. Lillian Luthor as well. I liked Astra, but they kind of redeemed her in the end a little bit. I like Rain. I don't love Rain. And then pretty much every villain that came afterwards, I was just like, whatever. I don't care.
Whatever.
The show really, the show like collapsed in season 4 and forward. Like, we had some great, I love that we got more Brainiac 5. I absolutely adore Nia Nal, Dreamer, Kelly Olsen. Of course, she was a great addition. But the storylines was, I didn't care for them.
Yeah. They could do a special 2-episode event with Mia, Laurel, and Dinah, and it's got all
Or as interludes. They could be interludes. You know, maybe like if it's those episodes where if it's those episodes where like Grant has is in it less, we could Bar Nora could be the ones to kind of go and like into the future and help them all out, and then maybe they bring back Dinah and Laurel to the present.
People were so awful back then. The actor who played young Anakin did not deserve the hate he got. Yeah, he got a lot of hate. Yeah.
See, that's super from Jennifer. A Purge Trooper hunts Jedi with some having electro staff.
Yeah, they had special weapons. I think a Purge Trooper is. I think you actually fight you fight these troopers in Jedi Fallen Order. You do fight them. So, even though Jennifer put the super chats in, I do want to pull up one of them just to quickly address it. We thank you for the super chats for asking this. Like, we're not here to talk about the whole situation because it's ongoing and we don't know.
And it's also alleged, we don't want to get illegal.
And the whole 10-year-old thing, the alleged is it's 18. It's not 10. But thank you for the super chats. It's just stuff that we're here to talk about. TV, movies, and I get it. This potentially is going to affect a movie, but we, yeah. Let's see here. Let's see. What are your thoughts on 2003 Hulk movie?
It's all right. It's not bad, but I don't like it that much. I mean, I like Incredible Hulk more. Oh yeah, I wish the movie was better. I remember watching it in theaters, going, "This is odd." Especially the Hulk dogs. That was weird. Asher was a terrible villain. That moment they redeemed her, I was like, what the hell? Oh my gosh. Ooh, I've always asked about Raven in Young Justice. I would love that. I would love Raven to pop up in Young Justice. I feel like it's gonna happen. No, Jennifer. No, Jennifer. No.
No, you did not F up. No.
Yeah, no. Here, I will add this. It's a very complicated situation, and we're not gonna talk about it until we have the full picture. But it's very upsetting what's happening right now, and and I want there to be a conclusion to this that doesn't get anyone else harmed, and the right course of actions are taken, and that's all I will say about it. Until the foreseeable future.
Basically, this is what it is. Unless something concrete happens, like a court decision or
investigation as well.
Investigation, or Ezra in the hypothetical gets fired, or if the movie just comes out, that's all we can really do. Because if we sit here and start speculating and everything, which we could do, which the show is not for that. If you noticed this week on the channel, I did do some videos about Amber Heard's interviews this past week in terms of segment stuff. That's a separate thing outside of the show. This show is for just talking
fun.
Yeah, to have fun. Also have some serious discussions if need be, but it's about movies, TV, video games, the stuff that we normally talk about. You did not F up.
No, Jennifer, don't feel, but please, Jennifer, do not feel bad about that.
Nobody feel bad for the stuff you're asking.
Exactly.
Understand we may not answer it because if we start speculating, then we're just going down the rabbit hole of speculation to where we're talking about a very serious situation here. Because the thing is, with the whole Ezra thing, so much more stuff continues to keep coming out pretty much daily.
And it's a lot of triggering. It's a lot of triggering things as well. And we don't want any viewers who watch it live or watch the replays to have to, we don't want to come in here or watch the episode on a Saturday and get triggered by something, because we know, all of us have so many different backgrounds and we come from different cultures and parts of the world that, the last thing we want you to do is feel any pain from watching the show, because again, that's what TMZ exists for, and so on. They don't care or whatever. Usually,
yeah. And this point too, it is triggering, and it's definitely out there. But there's a lot of misinformation out there as well. We don't know the full details because guess what? All we're hearing is what's being reported. We don't know what is true and what's not. We don't know what's.
But it is all very upsetting. It's definitely upsetting, and that's I feel like the best we can say about it for now. And it's even this is a good point. Jordan just became 3 dots. You don't want to put a trigger warning on the stream. Yeah, exactly. We don't want to do that. So we're gonna move on from this. But Jennifer, Jennifer, you did not f up. Everyone else who's been wondering too, none of y'all effed up. But now we kind of addressed that, and now we're gonna move on from it. So but still, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate it.
I think we'll get Wally guest star returning Young Justice. Yes, I think he'll be back.
I hope so. I would really love because it's one of those things where like I both want Wally to come back, but also I don't want him to undo the death because one, I don't want Artemis to have to go through all that pain again and the team, but also I want to see like where, because we know Wally could theoretically be in the Speed Force, but at the same time, like, but also I love the fact that they've been sticking to their guns, like no, he's dead. Like there aren't any hints. They haven't given us any hints, but I think it's kind of like it's good because then they're not giving us any misleading. They're like, no, we until we see this right story. If they want to do something like that, he is dead. We have a super chat from Jennifer. Thank you, Jen.
You click it.
You click it.
Okay. Okay. So your back half part about someone being removed. We both I think have different. We both have our own opinions on this, but in regards to the first part, I want to see this movie because Keaton and Affleck and our new Supergirl. I cannot wait for that. I just feel bad with everything kind of going on that this movie feels kind of like, like a, oh no, bad apple. It's definitely not. I just hope that whatever occurs, we still see this movie for everybody, especially Keaton's return as Batman, and especially our new Supergirl. That's what I hope. I hope we get to see this movie and support everybody that worked on the movie, because a lot of people had their hands on making this movie. So I hope that at some point
during a pandemic, it's which wasn't easy.
I'm 3 Man. Hello, that's me. And on Peacock, and since Julie Pluck other shows, Vampire Academy will be it.
Warner Bros. Owns the rights to the Vampire franchise.
What do you mean?
But I understand. But Connor, I understand why you would think it, because Julie Pluck is doing a lot of things right now on Peacock. But legally, she couldn't unless there was an agreement between Warner Bros. Television and Peacock. There could be something like that.
Would it be to where Warner Bros. Have to pass on it and then allow her to shop it around? Would be what
it could be either way. It could be that they pass on it, or if she said, "I want to put it to Peacock because that's where my I'm doing things right now," and and they have to give a sign of approval, you can use these characters and rights in the universe. So there you go, Jennifer. Jennifer. Okay. Hopefully this will work. I'm gonna put my Twitch link in the chat. Let's see if this works.
There it goes. Boom.
Did it come through?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay, yeah. So that's my Twitch, Jennifer. So you can go follow it. I haven't been live all this week because I've just been sick because of my vaccine. So let's see. From Scott Edwards, thank you so much for the super chat. Will we finally see the Flash and Superman team up next season? Think they might bring back some other Arrowverse Justice League members? I think we're likely going to see them team up next season, especially if it's the final season. But again, we also need to Lowe's to pull their heads out of their asses and just accept the fact that they're in the Arrowverse, and also just not go on fucking hiatuses.
I mean, this week alone had Diggle, had freaking Ray. I mean,
can I show you? Can I show you a funny tweet like that I did from? Hold on, I want to show this. I don't think you've seen that, so I'm gonna get your live reaction. And hold on. It's don't worry. There's no cussing. There's anything. It's very family friendly. And let's see, hold on, where's the tweet? And I think we probably will need to start wrapping up soon, but because also I'm sleepy. I haven't slept that well this week. Okay. So one of my friends texted me this. He had just finished watching the episode and said, a friend texted me this, LMAO. Superman Lois can't find a simple way to mention Supergirl or other Arrowverse characters. Meanwhile, the Flash in one season uses Black Lightning, Batwoman, Green Arrow, Mia Queen, the Atom, both Ray and Ryan, Alex Danvers, John Diggle, Damien Dark.
I mean, I did see that tweet. I thought that was really funny because it's very true. It's very true. But I mean, they're going to be bringing in Diggle in the season 2 finale, so.
It's like how they can't even do Kara. Like mention Kara. That's just
Yeah.
Again, and let me make this clear. I enjoy the show. I think it's a great show. But it's like this is getting to a point where I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. And it's like, if it's a sense of pride they're doing it for, they're like they somehow think they're better than the other shows. Okay, these fucking other shows made your spin-off possible.
Yeah.
Christ in the Lord of Heavens, this is ridiculous.
That's a good point.
Another super chat from Jennifer. But I know it's also a little sensitive, but
okay. So, in regards to your thing about the whole Amber situation, Aquaman 2, the movie's going to come out. Okay, it's definitely not like the whole thing with the Flash, where it's a very different question because it's the lead. But with this, they're saying that she's not being removed.
There's a lot of rumors going on right now that
her team denied it, but I'm also not going to be surprised if they do recast. I don't know. We don't know. Who knows? But if they recast, we'll hear about the reshoots. If they don't, then they're basically trucking along thinking that it's not going to do anything. I don't know. I think it might hurt their movie because there's not a lot of support for her at this moment. But the thing you also make a point that it's for everyone else who worked on it, because there was thousands upon thousands of people that worked on this movie in front and behind the camera and in post-production and in pre-production. So there's a lot of people's work that went into this. It's just she's the one person that is the bad egg, essentially, in terms of the social media response, the public response. But we'll see. The movie will come out with or without her version of Mara. We'll see. But thank you for the super chat. And trust me, if we find out that they're recasting Mara and doing reshoots, we'll cover it on the show.
You will.
Then because we'll definitely have a definitive thing from Warner Brothers to where this is news. And so we'll discuss.
Scott Edwards has a super chat. What other original League members should return to Team Up with Barry if season 9 is the final season? Definitely one Black Lightning, Batwoman, of course. I don't know if David Harrow would do it, but I think Martian Manhunter, it would be fun to see him again on the show.
Yeah.
Of course, Supergirl and Superman, of course. I think we deserve to see a reunion between them. The Canaries would be fun. Mm-hmm. But I know Jordan, we've always talked about this, that whenever the Flash is getting ready to end, we need to see something with Oliver.
Yes.
Yes. Who do you want to see? I just listed a lot of my choices.
I think at this point, I mean, you have to. I would love for Stargirl to officially cross over before the show ends. I really feel like they need to do that. They need to, because like right now, I don't think Barry and Team Flash, they don't know that the multiverse still does exist. I don't think they realize it. I feel like they still think there's only one Earth at this point because of Crisis.
I think it would be nice because this is a show to introduce the multiverse to the Arrowverse. I think it would be only right that we next season, or whenever the final season is. But again, guys, it has not. They have not decided yet if season 9 is going to be the final one yet. I still think they should do season 10 and get up to 200 episodes. Why are you laughing?
The other Sarah actress could be a good contender for Barry.
Harvey Dent. Can we trust him?
I leave Central City for 2 seconds.
Cisco better come back. That's it. Cisco. Yes. And he just signed on for a new show.
Yeah, I'm very happy for him. He deserves the work. He deserves to be paid good money, and he, it's a musical, so and we know that boy can sing. He can go like ha 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 ha.
We have one more for Jennifer super chat. We're gonna wind down. I'd rather get it recast if they're removed. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. We'll have to wait for information.
No, Fernando. No, Fernando. This is Triple X. I saw you follow me on Twitch. Thank you so much. Let me see what was your question. Hold on. There we go. There was Superman being part of the Arrowverse the same way they did with Black Lightning until Crisis. Black Lightning was hell-bent on not being part of the Arrowverse. Let me clear that up a little bit, because here's two differences. Okay, Black Lightning came from a different executive producer. Yes, Berlanti was involved, but Black Lightning established it from the beginning as it wasn't a spin-off of anything. These were characters that we had never seen in the Arrowverse before. So they had a more natural point of establishing that this is a different Earth in the Arrowverse. Superman Lois decided to do what I think is very shitty, is that, like, yes, they set up things in Christ that, instead of having one son, they now have two. And they use Christ on Infinite Earths during the whole crossover to market the new show by announcing, because the day before Part 4 and 5 aired is when they picked up Superman Lois' series. Normally, we never see that happen. Like, usually it's like a pilot order, and then they film the pilot, and then pick up the series. This was one of the first years, and maybe the only year, when Superman Lois and Walker got a straight-to-series order. And they were established in the Arrowverse, and they said, for even the original pilot script that recently came out, had mentions of Christ Says and Star Labs and Flash, and also they used Diggle, who mentions a shit ton of things about the larger Arrowverse when he was in one episode last season. So what I feel like, it's not the same situation at all. I think Black Lightning wanted to establish itself first. Superman Lois, I feel personally, it's a little bit of elitism here. I think that they feel like we don't want to associate ourselves with those shows. I don't know if it's because how they look, because of whatever story whatever and so on, but also it's just, But I know, like, for example, when one of my hosts, she spoke to Todd Helbing a couple, at the Paley Fest, and he said, like, listen, I would love to bring over Barry, he's good friends with Grant Gustin. He loves Iris. He would love to bring her over to Cisco. Like, so obviously, like, and I'm, so I wasn't being fully serious that there's like an elitism and whatever and so on. But I will say this, I think that the first season not doing any references, I'm like, okay, fine. Okay, I can understand that. But this Kara came out about her secret, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that we have time to focus on Cuckoo on Lucy, but we can't focus on Auntie Kara? Boy, please.
Yeah. Two last things, then we're going to wrap up. Number one, Fernando, Gotham Knights is going to sweep the Emmys. Gotham Knights sweep. That's not happening. And to Jennifer's, thank you for the super chat. So
Thank you, Jennifer.
Here's the thing. Jennifer, you can't expose me because I was not reacting to Batman the Animated Series. I made it very clear that I did rewatches for a first number of episodes on Patreon exclusively. They were rewatches of the show because people love Batman the Animated Series, and I wanted to make some sort of content talking about those episodes. It didn't do well on Patreon. No one hardly supported it, so I stopped doing it. But I would never react, and because people ask me, react to Justice League, react to Batman the Animated Series, react to these shows that I've watched growing up. I can't because I've already seen them. But with this, it was a rewatch. I made it very clear. I never once said these are reactions. They were rewatches specifically for Patreon. So there's no way you can expose me because I never said that I was reacting to this show that I already seen. Like that was that. I never said that. I made it very clear that they were rewatches. But I don't know why you feel like you'd have to expose me unless you were just joking. But I'm just making it very.
I think she's joking.
I hope so, because I get comments from people that say things. They say, "Oh, you said this," and I'm like, "No, I didn't."
But also, you guys know that people are allowed to change their thoughts and opinions and decisions, right? Like it's like like we're
Well, I mean, the thing is that when people comment saying, "Hey, react to this show," I comment, "I grew up on it." Like, I can't make videos. If I was to make a video, let's say if I started watching Batman Animated Series for the channel, for YouTube, they would never be titled reaction. They would be titled rewatch. I would never do that. I would never lie for people to think, "Oh, I've never seen this show before," because that's ridiculous. Oh God. Fernando, Jesus Christ. Well,
it's true though.
That's
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
So we want to thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you all for supporting the stream and being a part of episode 19. Like we were saying, next week will be 19.5 with Andy taking over with a guest. Hopefully it will be approved. And I'm guessing Andy will announce it.
You heard Jennifer's feelings.
No, Jennifer, I was just making a point because I've gotten a number of people commenting on stuff saying that I've said stuff or they claim they're going to expose me. So I figured you weren't actually going to expose me or try to. I was just responding because I've just been. Thank you, Jennifer, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you so much. but I just my mind's just been all over the place, and plus, something was mentioned to me today that had my mind kind of all over the place about an hour before the show started. So I've kind of been like all over the place in my head. But I wasn't trying to be rude to you, Jennifer, because you're a huge supporter of the show. You've been a big supporter of the channel. I defend myself because I literally since 2014 starting this channel, I have been attacked and I've been called things, and I just try to make a point that when people try to expose me, that it technically you can't, because I've never said anything and then backtrack to that extent where I would lie to people, because I know there's reactors out there that say they've seen a show and then they react to it for views. So, and I would never do that.
Yep.
But anyways, thank you, Jennifer, for the support, and we thank you all for being here. Thank you guys. Thanks, Andy. Have a great refreshing. I definitely will, and I will be back.
And we're gonna have a fun episode 20. We know what's happening as with that week, y'all. So,
yep, we're gonna. So next week, June 24th, Andy takes over 19.5 Endless Multiverse. He has a guest. He's hopefully going to confirm. July 1st, which is the following Friday, no show. July 8th will be a celebratory 20th episode of Endless Multiverse, and we're going to be back. We're hopefully going to have guests. We may have some other things. We'll see. But regardless, it's going to be a fun show, and make sure you guys come back next Friday for Andy's takeover show, where he runs Endless Multiverse. I don't know what he's doing. No idea.
Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. We don't have an editor, but we have, of course, mods and everything. But I don't know. I don't know what we need to edit for on the stream specifically. I'm not sure.
We're just happy you're here, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Just to address this quickly, I'm sorry people are so mean to you. You're truly a sweet person, Shane, and you guys shouldn't be picked on. Well, thank you. I agree. I also agree with that. I think that the internet culture is, it has a lot of beautiful things about it, but there's also a lot of ugly sides to it. And, and we want to acknowledge the ugly side as little as possible, but something, we got, we have a right to stand up for ourselves. Not that saying that this was like standing up for yourself, because, I know Jennifer was joking, but, this is what we were talking about this before. We're here to have a good time with the show. Friday nights, usually at the end of a long week, and like we just want to, relax, talk about anything we want, So there you go. But yeah.
A mod. Okay, so I haven't added a mod in a long time, but as the channel grows, I will add mods. And Jennifer, trust me, when I make the decision on a mod status, you'll definitely be in the running for sure. Because this channel, as it continues to grow, we're going to have more and more people popping up in streams, more people popping up on the channel overall, and I'll need more mods. Because let's be honest, Fernando here, he ain't doing fucking shit.
Oh.
Love you, Fernando. He knows I love him.
Hi, hello, I'm a mod. Oh wow.
Hello, I love my mod. We're here to have a good time. We appreciate all of you being here. And as you guys know, and thank you to everybody supporting and super chatting and commenting, and especially you guys commenting during the segments. We really appreciated that. And yeah, boy, you died. We leave you, of course, with the greatest clip of the entire show. Then we're going to call it a day. Cicada, take it away.
Metas killed your parents, Gracie. They all deserve to die.
Don't believe him, Grace.
Don't believe in Grace. That's what she looks like.
Bye, everybody. Make sure you're here next week for 19.5 with Andy next Friday. Be here for the stream. Bye, everybody.
Crazy. I won. Yeah. Suck it.